Look at this shit. You know what it's like being dropped off in the middle of nowhere? Look at this. Look at where I am. Got off the railroad car like Jack Kerouac, man. And now I don't know where the hell I am. Somewhere in the Mojave Desert, I guess. I'm gonna walk over there and see what I can find. Welcome to where I write. My blog. I hope you can see that. Expo at blogspot.com. You know, out of respect for my mafia friends, I haven't released my how not to get conned videos. But now I'm going to use the theory behind my series to make my point. You know, that would be that Americans need to learn that a con is a con, no matter in a back alley or from the ivory towers. The trick is to recognize it and not get played for a fool. The only thing that matters to me is results. I mean, if you can't deliver, good results from your work, then it's time to put you out of business, motherfucker. You know, just look at the results of the Republican low-grade thought processes. You know, and I thought to myself, how the fuck did an incompetent military service dodging, everything I touch turns to merda, moron like George W. Bush possibly get elected president? You know, let me tell you, it's about the con of all cons, and the American people are the suckers. You know, one must know the neocons as I do. These are some cunning, truly evil bastards. Vain, hateful, corrupt. But the really frightening trait is the greed. A greed so unquenchable that it won't be satisfied until it inherits the earth. Fuck the rest of us. They feel no guilt. Convinced by their silver spoon, Ivy League education, they're supreme beings. You know, these hypocritical cocksuckers use everything from the Bible to Darwin to justify their warped nature. Machiavelli, Burke, or maybe, listen to this quote, morality, it was created for the common man. Higher man doesn't have to worry about whether something is good or evil. He has the courage to rise above that sort of nonsense and act. That was by Nietzsche. You know, balls, man. Big fucking huevos and 15 billion tons of TNT. You know, anyways, the neocons got together and organized one goal in mind. To never let the 60s power to the people thing happen ever again. Blah, 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 blah. What happened next is best documented in an extraordinary 1984 book, Ominous Politics, The New Conservative Laborist, by John S. Saloma III. More about this later. You know, as much as I just despise the conservative stiffs, you know, anyone involved with organizing the people has got to admire their long range of strategic planning of the think tanks on the right. Let's say from 76 to 2001. And one of the most successful aspects of this organization is what I like to call radio free conservative. You know, while liberals were stuck in the 60s, living off their 60s victories and grooving, man, to the FM pop radio culture, conservatives quietly bought up AM radio waves at bargain basement prices. It was fucking genius, man. You know, enter former Kansas City sportscaster and steroid painkiller dealer Rush Limbaugh and the golden microphone of the EIB radio network. You know, this fat, loudmouth cigar sucker is the Tokyo Rose of our time. Remember the Cold War? The United States broadcast the programming through Radio Free Europe and the Voice America, or what the intelligence community calls psychological warfare. Here's a definition of psychological. The goal of psychological warfare is to change the behavior of countries and their populations. Normally, the intent is to weaken the loyalty and the confidence of the people that have in their leaders, and attempt to influence the attitudes of the people living there. This is by Martin Greenberg and Joseph Oleander. Now, Can anyone who's ever tried to hold a legitimate debate with one of Rush Limbaugh's or Hannity's ditto heads tell me Radio Free Conservative wasn't history's most successful brainwashing of a target population? Come on! Limbaugh and his gaggle of conservative talk clones were all taught the textbook form of biased persuasion that divided the nation and made Republican voters into fools. You know, in the book Violence in America, edited by Thomas Rose, another insidious form of psychological violence is what might be called Freudian rebuff. This type of effect has what John Henry Newman calls poisoning the wells. If one tries to advance facts and statistics, they are discounted, and his involvement is attributed to Freudian factors. If he attempts to prove himself free of the aberration in question, his very protest is used as evidence against him. To structure a situation against a person in such a manner does violence to him by depriving him of his dignity. So while people like me were given the uncomplimentary labels such as liberal wacko or red doper diaper baby, conservative think tanks actually convinced half of America's voting population that George W. Bush and Jesus were on the same fucking side. Fuck you!